is Marcel, and I would like to share with you how I made my electronic drum kit and how you could be making your own electronic drum kit. This is part 3 of a 10-part series, and in this video I would like to show you how to make electronic cymbals. Making cymbals is easy, but can be tricky. If you don't make them strong enough, you might crash your cymbals. I will explain what problems I encountered and how I solved them. In the last part of the video I will show you some weird cymbals. So let's go to the workbench. To make a cymbal you basically need a plate of some kind of material, drill a hole in the middle and attach the trigger underneath. A cup in the middle is obviously optional. In part 2 I showed you how to make a trigger, so if you do not know how to make a trigger, watch part 2 first. In this video I will show you how to make a single tone cymbal. I will show you how to attach the trigger, what materials to use for the cymbal, what rubber to use for the edges, and I will show you how to mount my cymbals. First topic is to attach the trigger to the cymbal. To attach the piezo to the plate, you could use glue. The risk, however, is that when it is too tightly fixed, the signal could be too strong. If you use thick double-sided tape, the signal might be too soft. So I prefer the intermediate solution. I use thin double-sided tape. I recommend good quality tape, and I recommend that you secure the cable using duct tape so the weight of the cable does not pull the piezo off. Now, what material to use for the plate? You could basically use any material you like in any size and any shape. You could make a cymbal out of wood or you could use plastic. Beware though, some plastics break easily. For instance, acrylate that cracks too easily, and it could even be quite dangerous to use that for a cymbal. Personally, I have made lots of cymbals out of PVC plate, 3 or 4 or 5 millimeters thick. The nice thing about PVC is that it is flexible, that makes it easy to work with, and it is not likely to break. I guess most drummers want a cymbal that looks and bounces like a regular cymbal. If you want that, you might want to try thinner plastic plates or material that is even more flexible than PVC. In the past year I have tested a very flexible type of plastic. I don't know the name of the plastic, I bought them as ready-made do-it-yourself cymbals. As you can see, they have a cup in the middle. The cymbals had the exact look and bounce I was looking for. So for a while I was very happy with these cymbals. However, I play mostly rock music. These cymbals probably work fine for playing jazz, but playing rock music means that you play crash cymbals on the side very often and very hard. So within a few weeks these things cracked just around the cup. But being a builder, I did not give up. I made a series of adjustments. The first thing I did was that I bought a few plastic plates without a cup, hoping they would not crack. But after a few weeks I got cracks in the new cymbals as well, so the conclusion for me was this material is just not strong enough for me. Another thing I learned was that the hole in the middle wore out because of the contact with the metal screw thread. The small rubber pieces I got with the cymbals, they tore easily and the hole got bigger each hit. First I tried to fix it by gluing 2 3cm metal rings around the hole in the middle. And believe it or not, during a gig one cymbal cracked around the rings, leaving a 3cm big hole. So the obvious solution for this problem was to put little pieces of hose on the screw thread, so the plastic does not touch the metal screw thread. Since then, the holes of my cymbals are not wearing out anymore. Another one of my mistakes you can learn from was that I glued the jack connector to the bottom of the plate. I did that for visual reasons. It was a bad idea. It cracked there as well, as you can see. So after that I made cymbals with longer cables, and now I tape the connectors to the rack. I haven't had any problems since. Looks are important, reliability is more important to me, so I tape the connectors at my side of the pipe. Well, after all these experiences I decided to go back to my trusted material. My current 10-inch cymbals are made from black PVC and they are 3 mm thick. To keep the visual appearance, I cut the cups of the old cymbals and I attach them on top of the new cymbals using duct tape. The cups stay on perfectly. It might not look very professional, but remember, I play in a rock band and I like my drum kit and my podium to look a bit old. Because PVC is less flexible compared to the thin material I used before, I made the hole in the cymbal a little wider. This enables the cymbal to bounce more. On top I use a metal ring and a self-locking nut to keep it flying off like a helicopter. Hitting these cymbals on the side makes quite a lot of acoustic sounds. To eliminate that, I have two solutions. The cheapest way is to use transparent PVC hose, 8 to 12 mm. You can cut them using a sharp knife. When you're cutting it, you need to make sure you cut it in a straight line, otherwise you will not be able to wrap it around the edge of the cymbal. To make sure you do not cut yourself, I recommend you fix it like this and do only a few inches at a time. Do not pull towards your hand, that is extremely dangerous. Another way to soften the cymbal at the edge is to use this rubber profile. When you look at it from the side, you can see it is an H profile. For the Dutch people watching this, I got this as rubbermagazine.nl. The number is 21202200. If you want to wrap this around the plate, you have to pull it quite hard to avoid wrinkles. You have to add super glue to keep it together. So put on some gloves, glue the first part on both sides and alternate putting glue on it and pulling the rubber around the plate. At the end, put a clamp on it and leave it for a few minutes. Doing it as fast as I am now might not give you the best results, but again, I play in a rock band and I like my drum kit and my podium to look a bit old, so these drops look fine to me. Obviously, there is a difference in looks between these two solutions. The black rubber looks better to me. But there is also a difference in sensitivity. The rubber is softer than PVC, so better suitable for heavy hitters. So this is how I made the 6 cymbals that I use in my current drum kit. I use them as crash or splash cymbals. I usually use a drum pad to play ride and hi-hat sounds, because that gives a better bounce when you play them, so it's easier to play 8th and 16th notes. The 5 smaller cymbals, 6-inch in size, are used as pads and control pads. I play those like drum pads, so they do not need rubber on the edges, but on top. To learn what rubber I use on top, watch the next video, part 4. If you want to know how I mount my cymbals, watch part 6, in which I will show you how I built my rack. None of these cymbals have chokeable rims and none have multiple zones. I just use a large amount of pads because it's easier. If you want to create cymbals or pads with multiple zones, you will learn that it's a bit more difficult because you need to prevent crosstalk. I will explain more about crosstalk in the next video. Before I wrap the cymbal topic up, I like to try to inspire you to get creative. As I explained, you can literally use any material and make cymbals in any shape. An example of something in an entirely different shape is this, what I call a tube. Here is a small one that is made of PVC pipe. The piezo is on one end, the screw vet is on the other. Here's a big one, a different design. One other way is to attach triggers to common things and use them as crash cymbals. For instance, you can put a trigger in a plastic helmet, or in a tennis racket, or a plastic hubcap. You might think that I'm joking now, but I'm not. You could really use 2 of these to use as crash cymbals on your drum kit, and it might look awesome. At the very least, it would make your drum kit unique. If you are really into funny things, you could also add triggers to small toy instruments. I have added triggers to this toy drum kit, to this toy piano, and well, I'm sorry I did not get around to adding them to this toy guitar. But I still could if I wanted a complete set of instruments for a whole band. This saxophone here looks like a toy, but it actually has MIDI built in, so you could play bombastic drum sounds with it. I also have 2 pairs of drumsticks in my collection. The small pair has cheap sounds in it and runs on batteries. That is and remains to be a toy. The large pair, however, is self-made from a pair of broomsticks. I glued piezos in the handles and it can trigger my drum module. I hope these things trigger your imagination. So in this video I explained how I make cymbals. I have explained that although cymbals are really easy to make, you need to make sure they are tough enough for your playing style. If you want to build your own cymbals, I hope you have as much fun building them as you will have playing them, because they might break occasionally if you hit them hard. In the next video I will show you how to make electronic drum pads. Thanks for watching.